Well, so throughout high school, I said, what's the hardest school to get to in America that I could get into? So I had pretty good grades, but I was not a straight A student. I tested very, very high in SATs, and I was in the top. I was right near the top of my class, very, very close. But I wasn't good enough, and I knew this to get into Harvard, Yale, or Princeton. Nor did I really want to. So what's the hardest school that actually embodies the type of person I wanted to get into? Of course,
West Point.
Yeah, West Point. Of course, that is the hardest school to get into. It really is. And so I said, that's the school I want to go to. Military service, yes. Waking up at 4 a.m., yeah. Whatever is the hardest thing a human being could possibly do, that's what I want to do. And so I said, West Point, of course. So around the sophomore year of high school, I said, that's where I want to go. And everyone said, well, that makes sense. Because essentially I love the country. I love what we stand for. I want to serve it. And it's also for very, very, very driven people, right? And so I went through the whole process. I don't want to get into a lot of the details of it. It's just a different chapter in my life. But I was Eagle Scout, football, basketball captain. Like I said, really good grades, good test scores. Got nominated by my local congressman. And then whatever reason, I just got waitlisted and then denied. And this was in March of my senior year where I got the denial letter, which just beyond puzzled me and kind of let me down a little bit. But in some ways, it was really liberating, and I couldn't even identify the feeling as it happened because going to West Point is almost the opposite of becoming an entrepreneur. You're becoming just a unit in a very, very big machine. Mm-hmm. And little did I know my drive and energy was not towards serving, just uniform military command, of which I would have done 100%. But really, I was an entrepreneur that loved to question authority and, do creative destruction. And so it was really liberating, and my subconscious was actually really happy about it. We can get into conscious versus subconscious.
And this was when?
This was March of 2012. And we met in February of 2013. So
That's
this was 11 months before I met you, and so it was kind of a perfect storm that happened. So it was during Obama's re-election campaign. Number one, I get my denial letter. My parents said, you got to pay your way through college. Essentially, it's all on you. So I wasn't really quick to go apply to a bunch of other schools. And then I really started to find a super deep interest in politics. That's where it just went to a whole nother level. But remember, I ended basketball that March. It was over. So the first time in my life, I had nothing to do. Nothing. I didn't have to go to basketball practice. I didn't have to go to football practice. I didn't have to do it. I didn't get into college. I didn't care about grades. No, seriously. I was like, I'll just get C's. So I had all of March, all of April, and all of May. 90 days to go do something. And that's when I really started to experiment with politics.
So let me.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. So one of the things I guess that you kind of alluded to was the aspect of, was that your first? When in the way you look at it, I don't think entrepreneurs look at failure as failure. They look at it as opportunities to even get better. Was that like your first?
Well, it was my first rejection. It was my first real rejection, but it was the best thing that never happened to me. I mean, I'm so glad I didn't get in. And maybe my subconscious was actually trying to make me not get in. I don't know. No, seriously, your subconscious is the most powerful thing that people don't realize. And as soon as a human being can even learn to detect the minor details of a subconscious, you'll become exponentially better. Your subconscious is all of a sudden you're walking through the halls and you think of a name. You're like, why did I just think of this name? It's because your subconscious has been processing information the last week, and it's like, just this one person can make this deal happen, and it just pops up. As soon as you can listen to your subconscious, you can become a super machine almost, because almost 98% of all cognitive function is done without you even realizing it. Your conscious, your frontal part of the part that you actually listen to, that's your voice in your head, is very, very super. It's just very simple. Most of the machinery behind thinking happens when you're asleep or happens without even realizing it. Sure. But if you can communicate with it, maybe my subconscious is actually saying, no, you don't want to go there. But anyway, yeah, that was my first rejection. And then the entrepreneurial spirit was finally allowed to exist. And that's the one thing that people have to realize if they're listening to this, like, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want to start a business, is the best time to start is between the ages of 18 and 22, without a doubt. And the expression nothing to lose is so cliche, but it's important because there's a lot of people that have stuff to lose.